Good morning, students. Today we are going to start with next topic of this unit, that is capacitor. In the previous lecture we have studied about the electronic components, where we have studied two categories of components: active components, passive components. And after that we have started with the resistor, types of resistors, where we have studied two categories: variable resistors and fixed resistors. Now we have to start with the next topic, that is capacitor. So what is capacitor? A capacitor is also known as condenser. It is a passive two-terminal electrical component which is used to store energy electrostatically in an electric field. So capacitors are most commonly used as parts of electrical circuits in many common electronic and electrical devices. So unlike a resistor, a capacitor does not dissipate energy. So this is the difference. Now we have two types of capacitors: fixed capacitors, variable capacitors. So let's start with the fixed capacitor category. In this category, we have following types of capacitors. Paper capacitors. Paper capacitors have paper as their dielectric material. Paper covered in wax is alternately layered between aluminium sheets and rolled into a cylinder. Two wires are added, one to each end of the capacitor, to connect to the voltage source. And the advantage of paper capacitor is that they can be used in high voltage and high amperage applications. Next is plastic capacitors. Various forms of plastic are used as dielectrics in plastic capacitors. There are two types of plastic capacitors: film foil and metallized film. These capacitors are advantage in situation where high insulation and high efficiency is required. So whenever high insulation and high efficiency is required, we can make use of this category. So next is ceramic capacitors. Ceramic capacitors have a large charge to size ratio. A lot of charge in a small capacitor is advantage where space is limited, and ceramic material is a good insulator. Next is mica capacitor. These types of capacitors are stable, reliable, and they can handle low to high voltages. So there are two types of in this category: stacked mica capacitors and silver mica capacitors. Layers of plain mica or silver coated mica are sandwiched between thin sheets of aluminium and copper. Next category of fixed capacitor is electrolytic capacitors. Electrolytic capacitors are advantage because of their capacitance capability. So between their conducting sheets, they have aluminium oxide sheets acting as dielectric and paper soaked with electrolytic fluid that act as a conductor. So these all are the different categories that comes under fixed capacitor. Now next category is variable capacitors. So variable capacitors are pretty much just as they are named. Their capacitance can change by physically or electronically moving the plate. So this is the advantage, that this is how we can change the capacitance. Now in the variable capacitors, the first category is tuning. Tuning capacitors. So this is the diagram of a tuning capacitor. Tuning capacitors are commonly used in radios, where you tune into a radio station. Even most of you must have used or must have seen this category. Originally, radios had a knob that could be turned, changing the distance between the capacitor's plates. So that is tuning. Next category in variable capacitor is trimmer. Trimmer capacitors are used in the calibration of equipment after it has been manufactured. They are commonly located on printed circuit boards, and if there is any variation in their capacitance over time, they can be adjusted. So it means we can adjust it, but they are only designed to be able to handle a few adjustments. It means they can handle adjustments up to some particular level. They commonly hold 100 volts, but some can go up to 300 volts. Next category in variable capacitor is mechanical. Mechanical capacitors have a series of semicircular plates. So it contains a series of semicircular plates inside of them attached to a knob. The advantage of this is that the capacitance can be changed quickly if needed whenever it is required, and since they are mechanical, they are reliable because they are not overly complicated. It is easy and simple to use this type of capacitors. So these all are the categories that comes under fixed capacitors and variable capacitors. So these are fixed capacitors and these are variable capacitors. Now let's start with the next topic of this unit, inductors. Now again, I hope that all of you must have known or must all know about the inductors, and you are very well known to inductors. So what is inductor? An inductor is also called as a coil, choke and a reactor. It is a passive two-terminal electrical component that stores energy in a magnetic field when electric current flows through it. So an inductor typically consists of an insulated wire wound into a coil. So you must have seen many examples of the conductors around your examples of inductors around yourselves. An inductor is categorized by its inductance. So this is you can see how we can measure its features or characters. So we deal with the inductance level. What is inductance? It is the ratio of the voltage to the rate of change of current. In the international system of units, the unit of inductance is the Henry. Next is, many inductors have a magnetic core made of iron or ferrite inside the coil, which serves to increase the magnetic field and thus the inductance, and overall it increases the inductance. Along with capacitors and resistors, inductors are one of the three passive linear circuit elements that make up electronic circuits. It is very useful while designing electronic circuits. So inductors are widely used in alternating current electronic equipment, particularly in radio equipment. So these are used to block AC while allowing DC to pass. Inductors designed for this purpose are called chokes. So these are also used in electronic filters to separate signals of different frequencies. So we can also use it for this purpose. For example, when we have some common thing to pass different types of frequencies, so we require something or some type of filters to separate the signals, because otherwise they will overlap each other. So this is how we can use it for this purpose, and in combination with capacitors to make tuned circuits, which is used to tune radio and TV receivers. Now start with the types of the inductors. The very first type is air core inductor. So this is the example of an air core conductor. I have taken an example which is shown in the image. By taking a cylindrical material of specific diameter as a template, we can wrap around the length of wire to make an air core inductor. Next type is ferrite core inductor. So by winding a length of wire around a ferrite core will result in a ferrite core inductor. So look at the example. This is the example of ferrite core inductor. Ferrite core inductors have very high permeability, high electrical resistivity and low eddy current losses. These features make them suitable for many high frequency applications. So whenever in some apps or in some applications we require material with very high frequency, or where we require high frequency to transfer data at a very fast rate or at a very high frequency, so in that case we can make use of this. Next category is iron core conductors. Now in case of iron core conductors, here iron is placed as former of the coil, so it is known as iron core inductors. We most commonly use it in TVs, transformers and radios. Next is toroidal core inductor. Now what is toroidal core inductor? A length of wire is wrapped around the donut shaped core is commonly called as toroid core inductor. Look at the diagram. This is an example of toroidal core inductor. So the core material is ferrite. So as it is ferrite, so this provide features of ferrite core inductor. So it has the same features of ferrite core inductor. So with this, students, we have finished this topic, and in today's lecture we have studied capacitors and inductors. In capacitors we have studied fixed capacitors and variable capacitors, whereas in inductors we have studied different categories of inductors. So that's all for today. Tomorrow we will start with the next topic.